The interstellar zoo on station Kepler 442 housed the last remnants of countless extinct civilizations. Among crystalline chambers and gravity-defying enclosures, one exhibit drew the largest crowds and the deepest silence. The dragon. Therion had been ancient when Earth's sun was young. His scales, once brilliant as molten gold, had dulled to the color of forgotten bronze. His wings, capable of riding solar winds across galaxies, now lay folded against his massive frame like discarded sails. The Galactic Preservation Council had found him drifting in the void near a dead star system, the last of his kind, and brought him here, to this prison of good intentions. For 7 months, Therion had refused every offering. The xenobiologists brought him synthesized star matter, believing his species fed on cosmic radiation. The Xinthian merchants offered rare nebula crystals that pulsed with raw energy. The council even procured a fragment of a neutron star, thinking perhaps he required dense matter to sustain his enormous form. Therion ignored them all. Dr. Kavesh, the station's lead xenobiologist, watched the dragon through reinforced viewing glass, his 4 eyes dimming with concern. "His bioreadings are failing," he told his assistant, mandibles clicking anxiously. "Without nourishment, even a creature of his magnificence cannot survive. We're witnessing the end of a species that predates most known civilizations." The other scientists nodded gravely. They had tried everything their combined knowledge could conceive. Every species in the Galactic Council had contributed ideas, foods, energies, all rejected. Therion simply lay in his enclosure, eyes closed, breathing so slowly that sometimes visitors thought he was already dead. Then came the day when Lena Carter arrived. She was 7 years old, small even by human standards, with tangled brown hair and knees perpetually scraped from climbing where she shouldn't. Her parents were terraforming engineers, newly transferred to Kepler 442, and Lena had begged to visit the zoo she'd heard so much about. While other species gasped at the void whales or marveled at the phase panthers, Lena found herself drawn to the quiet corner where the dragon lay. She pressed her small hands against the viewing glass, breath fogging the surface. "He looks sad," she whispered. Her mother, Dr. Sarah Carter, glanced at the information display. "He's very old, sweetie, and very sick. The scientists are trying to help him, but—" "He's lonely," Lena interrupted with the certainty only children possess. "And he misses home." Dr. Kavesh, overhearing this, turned his attention to the small human. "Child, we have provided everything our databases suggest. Your species has only been spacefaring for 2 centuries. What could you possibly know that we do not?" Lena didn't answer. Instead, she dug into her backpack and pulled out a sandwich, slightly squashed, wrapped in biodegradable film. Peanut butter and jelly, her favorite. She'd been saving it for lunch. "Can I give him this?" she asked. The scientists exchanged glances. A Vrelian counselor laughed, a sound like wind through crystalline caves. "Primitive organic compounds? The dragon is a cosmic entity. His biology operates on quantum—" "Let her try," Sarah said quietly, something in her daughter's expression stopping her protest. Dr. Kavesh hesitated, then manipulated the controls. A small portal opened in the enclosure, the first time it had been breached since Therion's arrival. Lena walked through, tiny against the cathedral-like space. The dragon's eye, larger than her entire body, remained closed. She approached slowly, the way she'd approached the stray cats in the hydroponics bay, and set half of her sandwich on the ground before him. "I know it's not much," she said softly, "but it's my favorite, and my grandma used to say that sharing food is how you tell someone they're not alone." She sat down cross-legged, unwrapped her half, and began to eat. For a long moment nothing happened. The scientists held their collective breath. Then slowly, so slowly that it seemed like continental drift, Therion's eye opened. It was the color of dying stars, filled with eons of memory and loss. The great eye focused on the small child sitting before him, eating her simple meal without fear, without expectation. Something stirred in Therion's ancient heart. This tiny creature, barely a spark in the cosmos's timeline, had not brought him power or energy or exotic matter. She had brought him something his own kind had done, countless millennia ago, around fires on planets now gone to dust. She had shared. The dragon's massive head lowered, inch by careful inch, until his nostril was level with the sandwich. He inhaled, not the scent of the food itself, but the meaning behind it. The act of splitting something precious, the gesture of companionship. Then, with delicacy that seemed impossible for such a creature, Therion's tongue, ancient and careful, reached out and took the offered half. The station's alarms went silent. Every scientist's translator whispered in shock. Across the zoo, other species stopped to stare as bio-readings surged, as the dragon's scales began to shimmer with the faintest hint of their former glory. Therion didn't eat because he needed the sandwich's nutrition. His body could synthesize energy from starlight, could survive on quantum fluctuations alone. But he had lost something more fundamental than hunger. He had lost purpose, connection, the simple knowledge that he mattered to another living soul. Lena smiled, jelly on her cheek, and pulled out her homework tablet. I have to finish my Earth history assignment. Do you mind if I stay while I work? The dragon's rumble was so deep it resonated in bones and souls. The translator struggled, then settled on an approximation. I would be honored, small one. Dr. Kavesh would later write 17 papers trying to explain what happened that day. He would theorize about quantum entanglement, about psychic bonds, about pheromones and energy signatures. But Lena's mother, watching her daughter sit companionably with an ancient dragon, both simply being less alone, understood what the scientists could not measure. Sometimes salvation doesn't come from superior technology or advanced understanding. Sometimes it comes from a child who knows that the greatest gift you can give someone is to see them, truly see them, and choose to stay. Therion would live another 300 years, and every day Lena Carter, and later when she grew too old her own children would visit, bringing nothing more cosmic than conversation, laughter, and occasionally a sandwich. It was, the dragon would say in his final days, the greatest treasure he had ever known. Humanity's strength lies not in their weapons or their ships, but in their stubborn, beautiful refusal to let anyone face the darkness alone.